Goddess greetings. This is Tirra-Olufemi, your goddess guru. I am too excited to be here this morning to talk about the wisdom that I have received from my inner guru, my inner goddess, to share with you today. I'm in the midst of a phase that I call in my life, know thyself. It is so important to know who you are. It can't be emphasized enough. And many people do not understand that the purpose of our life is to fully explore all aspects of ourselves, to know who we are. We come here and think that it's about doing something. We come here and we think many of us don't even know why we're here. We're just here. And in a way, just kind of going with the flow, which is okay. However, due to lack of proper teaching, most of us have no idea why we're here. And so I have been spending many years on this know thyself journey. And that's one of the reasons I am very big into self-realization, self-mastery. Those two aspects or two paths are of tantamount importance in my life. And so I spend lots of time because I'm kind of a nerd like that, a spiritual nerd like that, exploring who I am in just about any way I can. Every opportunity is a way for me to know who I am, to experience a greater level of myself, to expand myself beyond what I currently believe myself to be. And there is two aspects of myself actually that I've really come to terms with understanding. I was born to learn the lessons of these two aspects of myself, and they are being a woman with brown skin, African American, an African descendant, and a woman. These two aspects, wow. They are teaching me to learn to live beyond who people tell me I am. And this morning, I was reading a book called Daughters of the Dust. Oh, snap. I will get the name of this author because I keep talking about this book. So my apologies if you're looking at this. I will get the name of this and put the name of the book and the author in the description of this video. And one of the women in the book, her name is Elizabeth, is telling a cousin about the history that she knows of her people. And one of the things that she said was that her great-grandmother, Nana, said that the women who were brought over on the African women that were brought over on the ship, who landed on this island, one of the Geechee Islands, refused. That none of the women would talk about what happened on that slave ship. It was just that painful. And it just did something to me. It just opened something in my consciousness. And I could tear up right now when I think about the power of the human spirit. I feel that a lot of times people don't like remembering African slavery, the African slave trade, because it is atrocious. I mean, and then all of us descendants of those Europeans that brought us over and those Africans that came over, we are all living here together, having to make sense out of that really tragic beginning. And I have come to learn that there are so many lessons in that. Number one, ancestral memory is real. It is so important. I don't care who you are, to look at your ancestors and to look at the legacy that they left. It is important to look at the lessons that your ancestors can teach you through their history. It is important for us to figure out what part of the legacy do I need to pick up and run with, the positive legacy, and which part of the legacy I need to heal. Some of us are caught up in I don't believe in curses, but I don't know how other to say it, but we're caught up in ancestral traditions, sort of like a curse, where everybody just keeps making the same mistake. We're just caught up in this same perpetual, limited way of operating. And some of us were born specifically to break free of that. Ancestral memory is important. And whether we believe it or not, that ancestral memory lies within us. But what I'm taking, because I have a lot of ancestors. I have African, I have Native American, I have white. There's probably some Chinese and Indian up in there. Something, there's no telling. But for sure, my African ancestors, I know I come from African ancestors. And what they teach me is that they show the power of the human spirit to overcome that which you don't think you can do. So one of the things that we have to do in understanding who we are is look back at our ancestors. They will teach us we are powerful people, powerful beyond measure. And I don't care who your ancestors are. I talk to people from all different ethnicities, nationalities, walks of life. Everybody's ancestors have had to overcome something, okay? So we need to do that. And then the other thing that I think about when I think about the woman who just bitterly cried is that we need to offer healing to our ancestors. Many people don't recognize that there is really no difference between the physical world and the non-physical world. Many people don't understand there is no difference. It's all one and the same. Just because we can't see it and no one ever really talked to us about this truth doesn't make it not true. And so there are some ancestors that we have to honor so that their energies will get released. And in turn, it releases us. For women in particular, we have got to begin to step up out of this layer that has been put on top of us that makes us feel like second-class citizens. We are not second-class citizens. The world was born through our womb, okay? So we need to stand in that. Talk about the power of the human spirit. Look at a woman, okay, making it to make sure she can feed her babies. And all my story is telling, because you may not be a woman and you're watching this video, but all my story is telling anybody and me is that there is a power that lies in us. But we'll never get there if we don't take pause to begin on our process of self-realization. We'll never get there if we don't take pause to really look and figure out who we are. You need to know who you are. A foundation to that is something that I learned from a spiritual system that I study out of Nigeria called Ifa. It's of the Yoruba people. And what Ifa teaches is that the greatest deity of all for someone to connect with is the spirit of the divine in you. That divine spark in you, your divine nature. So many of us are wanting to find the love of our life. So many of us cling to our children, our parents, cling to relationships with everyone else, seeking that love, seeking that attachment, seeking that wholeness and that fulfillment. Well, I dare you today to wake up every day and look at you and figure out where is that divine spark in me? I want to connect to that divine spirit in me. And I'm a scientist. So I say, don't just buy what I'm saying. Test it out. Every day, seek to figure out what is the deepest aspect of myself. Can I go beyond what I presently think of myself? And that is what we need to do. In Ifa, it is called your Ori. A lot of times you'll hear people say your higher self. Christians will say the Holy Spirit. In the Hindu tradition, I have heard it referred to as Ganesha. See, Ganesha is a big elephant that rides on a tiny little mouse. The mouse is this me, my ego. This part of ourselves that we have a name. I'm Tirra-Olufemi. That's the mouse. But the elephant, Ganesha, is that divine nature that is so expansive and big beyond that little tiny mouse. So beyond this little tiny bit of ourselves that seems so real, this physical part of ourselves, is this massive soul, wisdom, whatever you want to call it, consciousness. In the Buddhist tradition, that divine nature is called the Buddha consciousness. That is the aspect, and it's so many ways to describe it. I'm just only naming a few, but you know what I'm talking about. There is something inside of us that is greater than what we see and experience in this limited physical body. And like I said, it's called Ori. And so every day I wake up, and I have learned, let me talk to my Ori, the goddess inside of me. I remember hearing one time in a church service that I attended, Jesus said, and this is in the Bible, me and my Father are one. That is what we are all seeking. We are seeking to be one with our divine nature. And when we walk in as one with our divine nature, we truly become avatars. Now, I'm sorry if you have bought into the lie that we can only do certain things and some of this stuff you only see in movies on TV. Hey, I'm not limiting myself, and I challenge you to not limit yourself. I say, let's see if I can do all this stuff. Can I really be an airbender? Can I really do works of arts with water? What can I do with fire? So many of us are so detached from the truth, from seeing true avatars, that we don't believe it's even possible. And so I just encourage you this day, know who you are on the path to self-realization. Understand that your ancestral memory, and it's not just one that you can just think about or read about in a book. It's in us. It's in us. We have to address that memory. And we have to see, what is that memory telling us about ourselves? And the part of the memory that is true, we keep. And the part that is based on trauma or drama and all that woundedness and pain, we have to release and purge and heal. And that's why I study my ancestors. Do I cry? Yes, I cry. But my ancestors say, don't cry for us, because we made it. And we want you to make it. And don't sleep on the price that we paid for you to be here. And so I said, let me get up and do something with this power inside of me. Let me get up and do something with this. Let me make a difference so that when I leave, someone will look and say, that Tirra-Olufemi, this is what she was doing. Somebody else has got to do it. May as well be me. And so the way we do this, the way we get so in alignment with our purpose and our destiny, is we wake up every day and we seek to connect with our divine nature. It matters not what your spiritual system is. The only thing that matters is that you make that connection in your own way and you do it deliberately. Okay? So this is Tirra-Olufemi, your goddess guru. Not to say I'm a guru, but I do have a goddess who lives inside of me. She is my guru, and she tells me wisdom that helps me make it and make it well. And my ancestors have charged me to tell what I am hearing, because somebody needs to hear it. People are tired of being lost. Hey, let's get found. Find out who you are. Know who you are. I give you thanks for watching this video. Many blessings of the Mother be upon you, but you don't need my blessings because you have so many surrounding you. Just open your awareness to see them and receive them. May you have a memorable day knowing the wonder who you are. Peace.